Unafraid Show, Reister or Wrong. It's your boy, George Reister here. We got a bunch of really great things up for you guys today. Greatest Unafraid Show of all time. And you know here on Unafraid Show, we bring the heat, we bring the truth. Because you get a lot of, nonsense from everybody else. People just want to feed you BS. No, you get here, you come here for the truth, for the knowledge, man. What's going on and what's popping at all times. So we got a bunch of great things up for you guys today. First of which, the biggest news of the day, the Cavaliers blew up their entire team, their entire roster. They traded everybody. They traded everybody. That means there was literally nobody safe today. They traded, not only did they trade Isaiah Thomas, they traded Iman Shumpert. They traded Derrick Rose. They traded every single player that was healthy. They traded everybody. Channing Frye, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder. And they got back Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, George Hill, and Rodney Hood. So those are the players that went out. Those are the players that went in. But the interesting part about this is, did this make the Cavaliers better? We'll talk about that. And also, the most important thing that the Cavaliers did was not in the Cleveland Cavaliers building. They helped out the Lakers when they took on Larry Nance Jr. and Jordan Clarkson. So that cleared cap space for the Lakers to already have more than $70 million. That means that they have room for 2 max spots. And then if they can get rid of Luol Deng's contract, then they have room for 3 max spots. So guess who's a free agent this offseason? You got LeBron James, Paul George, CP3, Carmelo. Like, the Banana Boat crew could get back together in LA. Next thing up, Jimmy Garappolo got the whole entire bag. $135 million, 5 years, like $90 million guaranteed. Highest guaranteed ever. So we're going to get into that. And the biggest winners of that were not Jimmy Garappolo, and it was not the 49ers. It was 2 other people. And also, will Gronkowski retire? That's the question. And Josh McDaniels, did he screw the Colts on purpose for Robert Kraft in terms of getting back at the Colts for deflate gate? That's the question everybody wants to know. But where we're going to start with this whole Cavaliers trade, because this is absolutely, this was absolutely necessary for the Cavaliers. Because if you look at what happened with what was going on with the Cavaliers, their team was in disarray. Their team was in shambles, and they had nothing going. Like, the Cavaliers literally had nothing going. They didn't have anything going with Isaiah Thomas. He was playing poorly. You didn't have anything going on with Channing Frye. You didn't have anything going on at all. So they had to absolutely blow up this roster. It was necessary. And the biggest question is, did they get better? Because bringing in those players that I named, are they going to make the Cavaliers better? Bringing in Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, George Hill, and Rodney Hood, are they going to make the Cavaliers better? And I'm going to go with a resounding no. Like the Cavaliers are still not a championship caliber team. And LeBron James is going to walk out the door in the offseason despite adding $50 million in contracts, looking like you wanted to help him out. You keep the Brooklyn Nets pick, but come on, man. Like, nobody on earth believes that this is going to help the Cavaliers. Like in terms of chemistry, yes, but in terms of getting closer to winning a championship, no, not one bit, not at all. And that's why I say that I find it interesting, because I always say that the Cavaliers are one of the worst run NBA franchises there are. Worst run. They fight with their best employee. They don't retain people who are the best, in terms of like GM David Griffin, who led him to a championship, won't even pay the man market value. Let him walk out the door. They're constantly in the red. They're going to be paying the most luxury tax money. They don't have their future secure. Like, that's a poorly run company. Like, if I told you all those things were going on at Apple, you'd be like, oh, I'm selling that stock. This company's going nowhere. That's what you would do. So why on earth are you going to buy the Cavaliers as a well-run franchise? You can't. Because if they were, they would be doing better. That's just the truth of it. Because the Cavaliers are a good team, but they are not a great team. Their future is not very bright. And yes, and the most important thing is that not well-run franchise that I said in the Cleveland Cavaliers. The most important thing about it is that they are going to Cavalier. The Cavaliers are going to Cavalier because they're not a well-run franchise. In one calendar year, they've helped the Boston Celtics become a contender for the NBA championship by trading away Kyrie Irving. And taking back Jay Crowder, some other contracts, and taking back Isaiah Thomas, which turned out to be a headache for the Cavaliers. So the Cavaliers helped out the Boston Celtics become contenders in 1 year. And they also helped the Lakers potentially take LeBron James in the offseason. Like, only the Cavaliers could do that in one calendar year. Like, only the Cavaliers could do that. Like, there's nothing positive. I mean, yes, people are going to say, oh, but now they have a chance to keep LeBron James. Well, you wouldn't have to try to keep LeBron James if you didn't screw up in the first place. Like, let's just consider that. You wouldn't have to try to keep him if you didn't screw up. So the Cavaliers have helped the Lakers. They've helped the Boston Celtics become NBA contenders. Because what happens this offseason? The Lakers now have enough cap room for 2 max players. 2 max players. Who are the biggest max players available this offseason? LeBron James and Paul George. And then if they can get rid of the Luol Deng contract, guess what? They'll have room for 3 max players. And remember this. LeBron James always gets what he wants. He's always said that before his career ended, he wanted to play with the Banana Boat crew, which is Wade, Carmelo, and CP3 and himself. That's the Banana Boat crew. They go on vacation in the offseason, take pictures on banana boats. This is an interesting thing. You guys, please make sure you swipe up, share the feed, continue the conversation, tell everybody about the Unafraid Show. And remember, if you miss an Unafraid Show, everything's available at iTunes, #Unafraid Show. So the Banana Boat crew can now come to Los Angeles. So everybody thought it was crazy when I was talking about this 6 months ago. But the fact that LeBron James may be willing to come to Los Angeles is a big deal, and the Cavs helped him do it. And I noticed a lot of people that they feel bad about this trade about Isaiah Thomas. Listen, man, the thing you feel bad for Isaiah Thomas is that I feel bad for him about is like, okay, yes, you're out there playing hard. You're 5'9", but come on, man. Like, let's just be real. Like, he wanted the bag, and the bag is the big pot of money at the end of the day. That's what Isaiah Thomas wanted, the big 5-year, $150, $200 million contract. And for him, that's not happening. He's a 5'9" guy. Yes, it sucks. But the reality of the matter is like, come on, man. Like, there are just some battles that you lost in the womb. Like, you won by going to the NBA. You were blessed with your God-given ability. You're a fantastic talent, but you lost in the height category. I mean, it's just like why guys who are 7 feet in the NBA get paid tens of millions of dollars and they're not as skilled as some other guys. Same way when you're super short, these are the breaks, man. These are the breaks. It sucks. And yeah, we feel bad. He got traded away. He's gotten traded 100 times in his career, or 4 or 5 times in his career now. Yeah, we feel bad, but this is professional sports. This is big boy leagues. The same reason why I don't feel bad for the Indianapolis Colts, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And I just find it very, very, very interesting what's going on with the Cavaliers, because they added Rodney Hood, who's a shooter, who can, who's a scorer. He's a shooter, young guy. They added George Hill. So theoretically, they should get better on defense. But why? But do you believe that so they dropped 6 roster spots, 6 or 7 roster spots, and they added 4. And this is going to be the thing to win a championship. Yep. Nope. Absolutely not. The next thing up that we got to talk about is Jimmy Garappolo. Jimmy Garappolo just got the whole damn bag, man. 5 years, what, $137.5 million? Biggest deal in NFL history on a per year money basis. And I'm going to say this. I know 49ers fans are going to be super upset about this, but this doesn't feel like a great deal. It doesn't. 5 games, he's been the starting quarterback for the 5 games he's been the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Do you know what he's done in those 5 games? 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But guys, he's 5-0. We were 1-10 before that. Okay, he's an upgrade over what you had at quarterback. But now I'm supposed to believe that Jimmy Garappolo is like a transcendent quarterback or somebody like ultra special, like a top 5, top 10 quarterback. No, I'm not going to sit up here and believe that. Like, you can't just sell me anything. 5 games, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah, but he beat the Jaguars. They have Blake Bortles at quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions that game. Like, let's not sit up here and act like that this was like miracle behavior. Oh, the defense played better with Garoppolo in. No, yes, so exactly. That doesn't mean that your team is all of a sudden like that Garoppolo some transcendent player. I'm going to tell you what this deal looks like. The Jimmy Garoppolo deal at this point in time looks like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with Ray Lewis and all this, and all of a sudden people keep calling him elite. And Joe Flacco's okay. Like, at best, he's okay as an average quarterback. And that's what you may have with Jimmy Garappolo. Because the sample size is super small. He did okay. He beat the Rams when they didn't have a quarterback. I mean, the last game of the season, they didn't even play any of their starters. Like, come on. Let's just really try to keep things in perspective. I know it's hard, but let's really try to keep these things in perspective. And okay, so the deal is worth about $27.5 million a year over the 5 years. And the 2 biggest winners from the Jimmy Garoppolo from the Jimmy Garoppolo contract are not the 49ers and they're not Jimmy Garoppolo. The 2 biggest winners are Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins because they're sitting up somewhere. They just called their financial advisor. They just called a contractor like, hey, yo, I need one of them Scrooge McDucks money pits. Yo, how much is it gonna cost to build one of them? Because I got a whole army of cash getting ready to show up at the house pretty soon though. Yeah. I need a new financial advisor. I need a new plan. Yeah, because we're gonna think about buying a little country soon. I mean, like, that's literally who won the trade. I'm sorry, who won the Jimmy Garoppolo deal. Because those 2 guys are going to make a mint. Are going to absolutely make a mint. And Aaron Rodgers especially should. He's the best quarterback there is in football. Period. Better than Tom Brady. Sorry to say it. I know some of you don't agree. You guys, please make sure you swipe up, share the feed, and like the feed, man. And send your comments in. We will get to them. Another player that's been in the news in the NFL has been Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski's in the news because he was talking about retiring. Okay, I'm not mad at Rob Gronkowski for talking about retiring. So many injuries, multiple back surgeries, broken forearm. He wears that big old gigantic RoboCop thing on his arm. And you're probably already going to the Hall of Fame. But why would he be retiring? Maybe to start his second career. Rob Gronkowski wants to go to Hollywood. And The Rock has called him. Sylvester Stallone has called him. A bunch of other people have called him trying to get him to retire and come to Hollywood and be an action hero star. Guess what you are if you're an action hero star? You don't have to get hurt. You don't have to get hit. There are no surgeries involved. You just got to stay fit. Get your acting chops up. I mean, because, like, let's be truth be told. The Rock is not Denzel Washington in terms of being an actor. He's an entertainer. He's entertaining. We love to watch his movies. but he's not Sidney Poitier in terms of chops. He's a good actor, solid actor, but he's not those guys. That's not a knock on him, but he's got the particular set of skills that those guys don't have either. And Rob Gronkowski, I'm not mad at him. I retired too. Going to the Hall of Fame, made a boatload of money. You can stay healthy because Rob Gronkowski likes to be Rob Gronkowski. And you can't be Rob Gronkowski with CTE. You just can't, man. You just can't. Another question I want to ask today is, did Josh McDaniels screw the Colts on purpose for Robert Kraft and what the Colts did in Deflategate? Did they do it on purpose? Because I'm trying to figure out all the reasons why Josh McDaniels would commit career suicide. Like, he will never get another head coaching job in the NFL besides the Patriots. Won't get another one. And we don't know when this job is coming open anyway. So why on earth would he do that? Like, is it possible that Robert Kraft gave him enough money, options to buy stock in his company? I mean, something to intentionally screw over the Colts. Because his agent's pissed off. His agent dropped him. No other team would hire him. You got assistant coaches who the Colts hired, so then other assistant coaches might be reluctant to go play for him later. Like, this is a bold move by Josh McDaniels. So was it on purpose and was it intentional? And then that got me to thinking this. If this was intentional, if it's not, it got me thinking about the the Patriots. The Patriots are a cult. The New England Patriots are a cult. By definition, a cult is a system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or object, or a relatively small group of people having religious beliefs and practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. Sounds like the Patriots to me. Sounds like the Patriots to me. We have the Patriot way. That's the religious belief. You have a particular figure who's worshipped and regarded as untouchable. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. You got the whole Alex Guerrero witch doctor thing. Tom Brady. Patriots are a cult. They are literally act like a cult. They have things go well for them that shouldn't. There's secrecy. Every single hallmark of a cult you have with the Patriots. They have a devoted fan base who can't see the truth, who can't see the forest for the trees. They don't believe nothing, that anything sinister goes, everybody's against us. Everybody hates us. Everybody hates us. So I say the Patriots are a cult. Everybody hates what we do. Nobody. This is what it is. It's just so hard being the Patriots. Because you're a cult. That's why, man. Like, there's no other way to put it. There's literally no other way to put it. And if I'm a person who tries to view things objectively. I try to make sure that I'm really being honest as possible with you guys about what's going on out here with these sports moves and everything out here in life. Try to be as honest as I can be with you guys. Like, it's hard to say anything besides that. Let me send out because Periscope wasn't working initially. Periscope wasn't working initially, so I have to send it back out, and I'm going to actually go back over the Cavaliers and what went on with them for the people who missed it at the beginning of Periscope, because Periscope would not let me be great in the beginning of the in the show. It was not great during the beginning of Unafraid Show. So if you missed it, we'll go back over it. If you're catching it again, thank you for joining me. Jeez Louise. Okay. Well, all right. Here we go. So the Cavs and the Lakers. So the Cavaliers clearly blew up their entire team. They traded everybody away. So we went over it a little bit, but we'll go over it a little bit more in detail now. So the Cavaliers have traded away Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Jay Crowder, Channing Frye, and Iman Shumpert. And they got back Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, George Hill, and Rodney Hood. And I've said it for a while. Is that the Cavaliers, that the way the Cavaliers were constructed, it was impossible for them to be successful. They consistently try to build a team from the scratch and dent bin. They consistently, you have Dwayne Wade, who's clearly over the hill. He's clearly, only able to play front end to back and back to backs, or the back end to back to backs. Dwayne Wade doesn't give you a whole bunch of value. He does in big games and big situations because he still got it mentally, and he's still crafty as an old veteran. But he's in the scratch and dent bin. You can't expect that he's the guy who's going to go out and be special every single night. The next player from the scratch and dent bin that the Cavaliers had was Derrick Rose. It's not too long ago, Derrick Rose won the MVP, and there were literally people talking and saying, maybe Derrick Rose is better than LeBron James. A lot of people were saying that. I wasn't one of those people, but we see how that turned out. Cavaliers pick up Derrick Rose this offseason. What happens? Leaves his family, ends up with dreads, gets married on the secret. Weirdo dude, strange dude from the scratch and dent bin. They got Isaiah Thomas. They got him with a messed up hip. They trade away Kyrie Irving to get a player from the scratch and dent bin that you're then going to trade later. So while a lot of people are praising the Cavaliers, truth be told, they only just bailed themselves out of a crappy situation that they put themselves in. The Cavaliers bailed themselves out of a situation that they put themselves in, and we're going to praise them for doing a great job. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? The Cavaliers had a team with Kyrie Irving. Instead of fixing the problem, which was part of it was how LeBron James plays. Because I've said it so many times, LeBron James hurts his teammates with his style of play, the really good ones. Kyrie Irving didn't have a chance to distribute and facilitate offense and be his complete self as a player. Kevin Love has been relegated to a spot-up shooter. Same thing that happened to Chris Bosh down there in Miami. And you're going to sit up here and praise the Cavaliers? They bailed themselves out of a situation they put themselves in. Bailed themselves out of that same situation. And in addition to bailing themselves out, they bailed out the Lakers. Everybody knows LeBron James lives out here in Los Angeles in the offseason. Lives out here in Los Angeles. He's in the movie making business, in the TV business. He was looking at schools out here for his kid. And the Cavaliers gonna cavalier. They always screw stuff up, then try to bail it out the last second. It's like the kid that doesn't study for school and then crams all night and is like, yo, I got a B. Yeah, but you could have had an A had you done the right thing the right time. Had you done it in proper amount of time, had you done it correctly, you wouldn't be so excited about this B. You would have got the A that you should have got. So had they not signed bad contracts with Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, they would have been able to they wouldn't have been in this predicament and having to trade everything away already. If you had fixed the situation with Kyrie, you would have been in a better spot. Let's not praise people for screwing up and then fixing it. Oh, yeah, so we get an A. Hell no, you don't get an A. You get a B at best. Maybe a C because you screwed up to begin with. And Isaiah Thomas, man, they absolutely had to trade Isaiah Thomas. I get that it doesn't feel good. It feels icky because you got this little dude. We always root for the little guy. Nah, not me. He's a little guy. Like, that's just what it is. He's small. He's the worst defensive rated player in the entire NBA. Of players who've played at least 300 minutes in the NBA, that's like 350 guys. He's the worst defensive rated player. And he's not playing well on offense. So, I mean, come on. Like, this is a guy who wants a max contract. Like, you're not going to sit up here and like, be excited about that. Like, you're not. And then the Cavaliers helped the Lakers out. Like, let's go over notable free agents from this 2018. You got LeBron James, who's going to opt out for sure. DeAndre Jordan is going to opt out with the Clippers. Isaiah Thomas is going to be a free agent. Aaron Gordon, dunk champion from the Magic. Clint Capella down in Houston. Chris Paul with the Rockets. Boogie Cousins, even though he's got a Achilles right now. Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Kevin Durant. Now, if you're the Lakers, you're trying to find a way to get 3 of those guys. And now that the Cavaliers have helped you, you can potentially get it. Like, how amazing would that be? Like, how crazy would that be if the Cavaliers cleared space for the Los Angeles Lakers to then take LeBron James? I mean, like, could you run a franchise worse than you run the Cavaliers? Could you run a franchise worse? I mean, I don't see scenarios where you could run a franchise worse. You argue with your best employee. Okay, let's just put it in terms of like real world stuff, like the Cleveland Cavaliers, why they're run so poorly. Like, let's use this as an example. If I tell you that there's a company, if I tell you that Apple, that it consistently fights with its best employee, like name calls them and bashes them out in the public occasionally. If they don't pay their best employees who've helped build the company's fortunes, like a David Griffin, their old GM. If I tell you that they're consistently in the red, that they're always over leveraged, what would you say? If I tell you that they overpay for stuff out of the scratch and dent bin for old antiquated technology, what would you then tell me? You would say, I'm selling all that stock. That's what you would tell me. You would say, I'm selling all my Apple stock. This company's going nowhere. Yes, they're treading water. Yes, they look all fancy out front. But this is really held together with like sticks and duct tape. And that's what the Cavaliers are. Like, they're not a well-run franchise. So let's stop pretending like they are, because they bailed themselves out on trades at the trade deadline. Because you screwed up 2, 3, 4 years ago, and then continue to screw up, and then at the last minute you try to bail yourself out. You're like, hey, yo, we did a good job bailing out. No, you did a bad job screwing up in the first place. That's what you did. You guys, thank you guys for joining me today. Unafraid Show, right or wrong. We're here every day. If you missed anything today, download the podcast on iTunes, #Unafraid Show. If you don't have an Apple product, look it up on TuneIn, #Unafraid Show. You will love it. Share it with a friend. Peace out. I will catch you guys tomorrow.